The market was older than most stars. It floated in open space, built from rusted metal rings and broken ships welded together over centuries. Every species in the galaxy knew this place. Not because it was proud, but because it sold what no one else wanted. Unwanted beings. Unwanted races. Unwanted lives. The air smelled of oil and fear. Chains clinked softly. Screens flashed prices in cold blue light. Voices shouted in many languages, laughing, arguing, bargaining. And in the middle of it all stood a human man, holding the small hand of a little human girl. He did not look powerful. He did not wear armor. His clothes were plain. His face tired, but his eyes were calm. The girl looked around with wide eyes. She had never seen so many strange faces. Tall creatures with glowing skin. Women with horns, scales, extra arms, or eyes that shimmered like glass. Some sat quietly. Some stared at the floor. Some had already stopped hoping. "Papa," the girl whispered, squeezing his hand. "Why are they sad?" The man knelt beside her. He spoke softly, because no one chose them. They walked deeper into the market. Alien sellers noticed the human at once. Humans rarely came here. When they did, it was usually for labor contracts, not companions. A tall alien merchant laughed loudly. "Look, a human father. Lust, maybe?" Another seller sneered. "What are you doing here, human?" The man did not answer. He stopped in front of a long row of platforms. On each platform stood an alien woman. Different races. Different shapes. Same empty look in their eyes. A sign floated above them in harsh letters. Unmarriable races. No refunds. No guarantees. The little girl read slowly. She frowned. "Papa, what does unmarriable mean?" The man took a slow breath. "It means people think no one will ever love them." The sellers burst into laughter. "Love," one shouted. "Human, this is not a fairy tale." Another added cruelly, "No one ever marries our race. Not even our own." The man looked at them. His voice was steady. "I am not here to marry." The laughter grew louder. "Oh! Then what do you want?" "A servant. A toy for the child." The man shook his head. "My daughter needs a mother." The market fell silent. Not loud silence. Heavy silence. Even the chain seemed to stop moving. The sellers stared at him, confused. Then one of them laughed again, harder than before. "A mother?" The alien mocked. "From here." He pointed at the women. "These are broken races. Violent. Cold. Weak. No instincts for family." Others joined in. "They cannot bond. They cannot love. They will fail your child." The man did not raise his voice. He did not argue. He stepped closer to the platforms. The first woman was tall, her skin marked with old scars. Her eyes were sharp, always watching. A warrior race, labeled dangerous. The second glowed faintly, her movement slow and careful. Her eyes held deep knowledge, but no warmth, they said. A thinking race, labeled emotionless. The third was smaller, quiet. Her hands trembled slightly. Her race had been pushed aside for generations, labeled useless. The little girl looked at them one by one. She did not see labels. She did not see prices. She saw faces. "Papa," she said softly, "they look lonely." One of the alien women closed her eyes. Another turned her head away. The smallest one swallowed hard. The seller scoffed. "Lonely does not make a mother." The man finally looked angry, but not at the women. At the world, perhaps. He turned to the merchant. "How much?" The prices appeared in the air. They were high, very high. A test, a trap, a joke. The sellers expected the human to step back, to argue, to leave. Instead, he nodded once. "I will pay." Gasps spread through the market. "All three?" the merchant asked, eyes wide. "Yes." The crowd began to whisper. "He is mad. He will regret this. Humans are fools." Guards moved closer, watching carefully. No one paid this much without expecting something dark in return. The contracts floated forward. Ownership papers. Control terms. Tracking codes. The man read them slowly. Then he did something no one expected. He deleted the control clauses. The merchant shouted, "You cannot." "I will not own," the man said quietly. "I will protect." The merchant laughed nervously. "You think they will care for your child?" The man looked down at his daughter. She had stepped forward. She reached out, small fingers trembling, and gently touched the hand of the smallest alien woman. The alien froze. No pain followed. No shock. No rejection. Just warmth. The girl smiled. "Hello. Will you come home with us?" The woman's breath broke. In that moment, something ancient shifted. The market had seen violence, fear, despair, but it had never seen this. The man stood up. "We are done here." The guards blocked the path. "Human," one said slowly, "do you know what you are doing?" The man met his gaze. "Yes." "You may lose everything." He nodded. "I already lost my wife." The words hit harder than any weapon. Silence returned, this time deeper. He took the contracts. He paid the price. Full. No delay. Then, calmly, carefully, he reached up and removed the first collar. Then the second. Then the third. No chains. No commands. "You are coming with us," he said. "Not as property." The alien women did not move. They did not trust hope. But the little girl held on tighter. And for the first time in their lives, they followed a human not because they were bought, but because they were chosen. The transport ship was quiet. Too quiet. It moved away from a market ring, leaving behind the noise, the lights, and the voices that had judged the three alien women their whole lives. Inside the ship, soft engine sounds filled the air like slow breathing. The human man sat across from them. His daughter slept beside him, her head resting on his arm. The three alien women sat apart from each other, not because they wanted to, because they did not know how to sit close. They were free now, and freedom felt dangerous. The tall one with scars stood near the wall, arms crossed. Her sharp eyes never stopped moving. Every sound made her tense. She had been trained to fight since childhood. Her race was made for war. Love had never been part of her training. Her name was Kara Th. The glowing woman sat upright, hands folded perfectly on her knees. Her eyes studied the ship's walls, the air, the light, measuring everything. Her race valued logic above all else. Emotion was seen as weakness. Her name was Sarah. The smallest one sat near the door, knees pulled close to her chest. She tried to take up as little space as possible. Her people had survived by not being noticed. Her name was Lumi. None of them spoke. They waited. That was what their lives had taught them to do. Wait for orders. Wait for punishment. Wait for disappointment. The ship jumped into faster space. Lumi flinched. The human noticed. "It's safe," he said gently. "Just a jump." She nodded quickly, though she did not understand. Minutes passed. Then Kara Th finally spoke. Her voice was rough, unused to softness. "Human," she said. "Why 3?" The man looked at her. He did not pretend not to understand. "Because my daughter does not need one person to change her life," he replied. "She needs a family." Sarah tilted her head slightly. "That answer is inefficient," she said calmly. "One caregiver would be enough." The man smiled faintly. "Maybe, but people are not machines." Sarah did not respond. Her eyes flickered, processing something she did not yet understand. Kara Th let out a short laugh. "You think we can be mothers?" she asked. "Look at me. I was made to break things." The man's voice stayed steady. "Then you know how to protect." That made her pause. Lumi whispered, barely audible, "I was told I am replaceable." The word hurt to hear. The man leaned forward slightly, careful not to wake his daughter. "No one here is replaceable." Lumi's eyes filled with light. Not tears yet, just disbelief. The ship slowed. Outside the window, a small planet came into view. Blue and green. Quiet. No giant cities. No towers. Just land, water, and clouds. Sarah stared at it. "There are no gods," she said. "There are neighbors, The man replied, "That's enough." The ship landed near Modest home. Not large, not rich, but warm light glowed from the windows. Car TH scanned the area. No perimeter defenses. "I don't live in fear," the man said. They entered the house slowly. Lumi expected cold floors. Instead, they were warm. Sarah expected control systems. Instead, there were pictures on the walls. A woman smiling. A younger version of the girl. Car TH expected weapons. Instead, there were books, toys, plants. The man placed his daughter gently on a couch. She stowed, then smiled in her sleep. "This is your home," he said. The three women froze. "Our what?" Lumi asked. "Your home," he repeated. "If you want it." Sarah frowned. "And if we do not? Then I will help you find somewhere else." No threat. No condition. Just choice. Car TH clenched her fists. "You expect us to care for her?" "I hope you will," the man said honestly. "But I will never force you." That word again. Never force. Lumi stepped forward before fear could stop her. "May I sit near her?" The man nodded. Lumi knelt beside the sleeping child. She did not touch her at first. She only watched her breathe. So small. So trusting. Something inside Lumi broke open. A tear fell onto the floor. Sarah watched closely. Her senses showed a rise in emotional output. Something her race claimed did not matter. Car TH stood guard without realizing it. Her body placed itself between the door and the child. Hours passed. No alarms. No commands. When the girl woke, she rubbed her eyes and smiled. "You're still here," she said happily. Morning came softly. Light passed through the thin curtains and touched the quiet house. Birds called outside. No alarms. No metal floors. No chains. The little human girl woke first. She sat up and looked around. For a moment, she did not remember where she was. Then she smiled. She saw Lumi sitting on the floor near the couch, asleep while sitting upright. She had not moved all night. The girl slid off the couch carefully and placed a small blanket over Lumi's shoulders. Lumi's eyes opened at once. Fear flashed in them. Then she saw the girl. "Good morning," the girl said cheerfully. Lumi froze. No one had ever said those words to her. "Good morning," Lumi repeated, unsure if she was allowed to. From the kitchen, the smell of warm food filled the house. The human man was cooking. Sarah stood nearby, watching him closely. She had been awake for hours, studying the house systems, the temperature, the water flow. Everything was simple, honest. "You prepare food yourself," Sarah said. "Yes," the man replied. "It helps me think." Car TH leaned against the wall, arms crossed. She had spent the night awake, listening for threats that never came. "Your house is weak," she said bluntly. The man nodded. Then it must be protected by trust. She did not understand that answer, but she respected his calm. They sat at the table together. No hierarchy. No assigned seats. The girl swung her legs happily. "What are your names?" she asked. Lumi hesitated, then answered softly. "Sarah," said the glowing woman. "Car TH," said the warrior. The girl smiled wide. "I like your names." Sarah noted an increase in internal warmth. She recorded it, confused. Then the door signal chimed. Car TH moved instantly. Her body shifted between the door and the table. "I will answer," the man said gently. Outside stood two figures, a market inspector and an armed guard. Their uniforms carried the symbol of the Trade Council. "We are here about an unusual transaction," the inspector said coldly. 3 restricted alien females, purchased by a human. The air grew tense. The women felt it immediately. This was it. Punishment always came late. "You may enter," the man said. The inspector scanned the room. His eyes moved quickly. No chains. No cages. No control fields. He frowned. "Where are the restraint devices?" "There are none," the man replied. "That is a violation." "No," the man said calmly. "It is a choice." The guard laughed. "You expect us to believe they are here willingly." Sarah stepped forward. "Yes." The inspector blinked. You may not speak. She may, the man said firmly. Kara Th's hand twitched. Lumi shrank back, fear returning. The inspector turned to the women. You were bought. You belong to him. The man's voice sharpened. They belong to themselves. The inspector activated his tablet. These races are classified as unstable, dangerous, unfit for family units. The girl stood up. They are nice, she said simply. Everyone froze. The inspector stared at her. Child, sit down. The man placed a hand on her shoulder. She has the right to speak. The inspector's eyes hardened. This transaction will be reviewed publicly, he said. The market is watching. He leaned closer. You embarrass powerful people. The man met his gaze. I know. The inspector turned to leave, then paused. Prepare yourselves, he said. The council does not forgive humans who act differently. The door closed. Silence followed. Lumi trembled. They will take us back, she whispered. The man knelt in front of her. No one will take you without your consent. But you paid for us, Kara Th said. They will say we are yours. The man stood. Then I will tell them the truth. Sarah asked quietly, and what is that? That the purchase was never about ownership. He looked at all three of them. It was about shame. They did not understand. Shame. Kara Th asked. The market shamed you, the man said. I paid the price to shame it back. Outside, distant ships began to gather. The story had already spread. The market was watching, and for the first time in its long, cruel history, it was being judged. The day after the inspectors came, the house did not change. That surprised the three alien women more than the visit itself. No guards arrived. No orders were given. No rules were spoken. The morning light entered the rooms the same way it always had. Lumi woke first again. She sat up slowly, listening. No alarms. No footsteps of overseers. No commands shouted through speakers. Only silence and the sound of something warm bubbling in the kitchen. She stewed and followed the sound. The human man was making breakfast again. He looked tired, but calm. Good morning, Lumi, he said. Her name, spoken like it mattered. She froze. Good morning, she answered. Sarah entered next. She had not slept much. Her mind kept running simulations. In everyone, this situation ended badly. You should create rules, Sarah said. Lack of structure causes failure. The man smiled slightly. Then we will learn together. Kara Th stood by the door, watching outside. Her instinct refused to rest. You are exposed, she said. If the council comes, this house will fall. Then we will face them, the man replied. The girl ran in, hair messy, eyes bright. Breakfast, she cheered. They sat together again. Still no assigned places. After the meal, the man stood and spoke carefully. I need to tell you something, he said. You are not prisoners here. The women listened closely. You are not servants, he continued. You owe me nothing. Lumi's hand shook. If you wish to leave, he said, I will help you. Silence filled the room. No one moved. This was the moment traps were revealed. Kara Th laughed softly. You give freedom so easily. It is not easy, the man said. It is necessary. Sarah studied his face. Why risk your child for us? The man looked at the picture on the wall. The woman smiling. My wife believed family was built, not born, he said. I promised her I would never let our daughter grow alone. Lumi felt something warm spread through her chest. Painful, sweet. The man gestured to the hallway. These rooms are yours. Choose any. Rooms, not cells. The women walked slowly. Each room was simple. Clean. A bed. A window. A door that locked from the inside. Lumi touched the door handle with shaking fingers. I can close it, she asked. Yes, the man replied, or leave it open. Choice again. Later, the girl knocked softly on Lumi's door. Can I come in? Lumi hesitated, then nodded. The girl stepped inside and sat on the floor. Do you like stories? She asked. Lumi thought. I don't know. The girl smiled. I'll teach you. Across the house, Sarah sat by the window, watching clouds move. No one had ever asked her what she wanted. Car-TH stood outside in the yard, feeling the ground. No battlefield. No screams. That night, the girl had a bad dream. She cried out. Before the man could reach her room, Car-TH was already there. She knelt beside the bed, unsure what to do. Lumi arrived next, holding a blanket. Sarah stood at the door, observing, then stepping closer. The girl woke, frightened. Lumi held her hand. Car-TH stayed guard. Sarah spoke softly. You are safe. The girl calmed. Later, when the house slept again, Car-TH remained outside the child's door. She did not know when it happened, but somewhere in the quiet, a warrior became a protector. A thinker felt emotion, and a forgotten soul felt needed. No chains had been broken, because none had ever been placed. And far away, unseen ships watched the small house in silence. The attention did not come with noise at first. It came with signals. Quiet data pings moved through the networks. Trade channels whispered. Council observers shared clips and reports. A human had paid full price for 3 unwanted alien women and had not claimed ownership. That alone was strange. But then came the images. A house with open doors. Alien women walking freely. A human child laughing. The galaxy noticed. On the third day, a message arrived. Formal summons. Trade Council review. The man read it once. Then he folded the screen away. They are coming, he said calmly. Lumi's hand shook. Sarah's eyes dimmed slightly as she processed probabilities. Car-TH tightened her fists. They will take us, Lumi whispered. No, the man replied. They will listen. That answer made no sense to any of them. Council ships arrived in the sky like dark shadows. Not 1, not 2, 7. They did not land near the house. They hovered, watching. The girl stood by the window. Are they friends? The man knelt beside her. They don't know yet. A transmission opened. A tall figure appeared on the screen. Pale skin. Cold eyes. Council authority. Human. The council speaker said. You violated trade custom. You embarrassed the market. I did not intend to embarrass, the man replied. I intended to protect. You purchased restricted beings, the speaker continued. You removed control devices. They were never criminals, the man said, only unwanted. The speaker's eyes moved to the women. Step forward, he commanded. The women froze. Old instinct screamed at them to obey. Before they could move, the man raised his hand gently. Only if they choose. Silence. Car-TH stepped forward first. Her voice was strong. I was sold as violent, but no one asked what I protected. Sarah followed. I was sold as cold, but no one measured my care. Lumi hesitated. Then the girl took her hand. Lumi found her voice. I was sold as nothing, she said softly. But hey, I am someone. The speaker's face tightened. This arrangement is unstable, he said. These races are incompatible with human family units. The girl looked up. They tuck me in, she said. They stay when I cry. The speaker paused. Children were not part of his data. You may be emotionally compromised, he said. Humans are known for weakness. The man stood straight. Human weakness, he said, is choosing love when power is easier. The broadcast was being watched now. Millions. Across systems. Across species. Comments flooded the networks. This was no longer a review. It was a test. The speaker folded his hands. Very well, he said. We will allow temporary continuation. Lumi's breath caught. But, the speaker added, the women will be given a final choice publicly. The screen went dark. Car-TH turned to the man. They are setting a trap. I know, he replied. Outside, the ships held position. The galaxy waited. And somewhere far away, old laws began to crack under the weight of a small human home. The summons arrived at dawn. Not to the house, but to the city hall of the nearest human settlement. Neutral ground. Open broadcast. No weapons allowed. The council wanted witnesses. The man read the message in silence. This is it, Lumi whispered. Th stood tall. They will try to break us. Sarah's voice was calm, but her eyes were not. They will offer freedom in a way that feels like exile. The man looked at them carefully. You do not owe me anything, he said. If you leave today, I will still protect you. The words hurt more than fear. The girl clutched Lumi's hand. Are you going away? Lumi knelt and hugged her gently. I don't know, she whispered, but thank you for seeing me. The hall was filled. Humans, aliens, observers from dozens of systems. Cameras floated in the air, recording every breath. The council speaker stood at the center. You were purchased, he said loudly. You were freed. Now you will choose. He pointed to the women. You may leave this human family. You will receive transport, credits, and protection. The offer echoed through the hall. Freedom. Clean. Legal. Cold. Sarah stepped forward first. My people taught me choice is logic, she said. And logic tells me safety without connection is emptiness. She turned to the man. I choose to stay. Gasp spread. Th stepped next. I was made for war, she said. But hey, I guard sleep instead of death. She placed a hand over her chest. I stay. The crowd murmured. Lumi stood last. She shook. She looked at the council, then at the man, then at the girl. I was told I had no purpose, she said. Hey, I am called by name. She took the girl's hand. I choose my family. Silence fell. The council speaker's face hardened. This choice is unexpected. The man said nothing. The girl smiled. And across the galaxy, millions watched as three unwanted beings chose love over law. The silence in the hall did not break. It spread across the seats, across the screens, across the galaxy. The council speaker stood still, his authority suddenly fragile. You have made your choice, he said slowly. Then we must decide what that choice means. He turned to the man. Human, you acted outside tradition, outside law. The man did not bow. He did not argue. He simply spoke. My daughter needed a mother, he said. I found a family. The speaker's eyes narrowed. Family is not recognized across species. The girl stepped forward before anyone could stop her. She stood small and brave in the center of the hall. They make my home warm, she said. Her voice carried. They stay when I'm scared. They don't shout. They don't hurt. She looked at the speaker. If that's not family, then what is? The hall shifted. Some turned away. Some wiped their eyes. Data screens lit up behind the council. Live reaction. Millions watching. The speaker paused longer than the law allowed. This case, he said at last, will be recorded. He raised his hand. The women are no longer classified as restricted. A breath escaped Lumi's chest. The human household is recognized as a multi-species family unit. The whole erupted. Not in anger, in shock, in relief, in something new. Th dropped to one knee, not in submission, but in promise. I will protect this family, she said. Sarah placed a hand over the girl's shoulder. I will teach her, she said, and learn. Lumi hugged the child tightly. I will stay, she whispered. Always. The speaker looked tired. Let this be known, he said. The galaxy believed some races could not love. He looked at the man. Humans were wrong about many things. The man replied gently. So were we. The ships withdrew. The broadcast ended. But the story did not. Across markets, labels were removed. Across systems, laws were questioned. And in one small house, a child slept peacefully, surrounded by three mothers who had once been told they were nothing. They said no one ever marries our race. The human proved love does not need permission. The end.